In this video, I am going to show you various ways to install Hadoop. There are three ways in which we can install Hadoop. First one is local mode, pseudo distributed mode, and distributed mode. What is the difference? If you want to run Hadoop in local mode, you just have to unzip the tar file and you can run the Hadoop command. There will be a file called as hadoop.sh. You can just run that hadoop.sh. It will run inside same JVM. So whenever you are running Hadoop in local mode, there will be only one JVM, and inside the same JVM all the daemons will start. Daemons like name node, data node, job tracker and task tracker. All the daemons will be running inside same JVM. Normally we use local mode installation for testing MapReduce programming. Then the next one is pseudo distributed mode. In this mode, we will be installing Hadoop on one single machine, but the daemons will run as different Java processes. That means for name node a separate Java process will start, for data node a separate Java process will start, task tracker and job tracker will run as separate Java applications but on a single machine. So there is no distributed mode. Every process like name node, data node, everyone is running on single machine. So it simulates a distributed mode. That's why we call it as pseudo distributed mode. And distributed mode is the real setup that spans over multiple machines. So first I will show you how to install Hadoop in a 2 cluster node. Then I will show you how to install Hadoop 1.x in pseudo distributed mode. Let us get started. I have already prepared in detail documentation how to install a multi-node cluster. I will just open it and follow the steps. It's very easy. You can follow these steps and understand it, but let me do it one by one. So in the documentation I have clearly given, before you do the installation of Hadoop cluster, you can optionally install Genie. Genie is my favorite editor which I will be using for editing some files comfortably. So if you want, you can install Genie optionally. If you are very good at Unix commands, you can of course use command prompt only for editing the files, but I prefer Genie. So if you want to install Genie, you just need to execute these statements. This will install Genie. You just have to follow these steps and you have to install Genie. What I have done is I have created a VM already with Genie installed in it. This is a single VM which I have, but I want two VMs, one for master and one for slave. So what I am going to do is I am just going to rename this as a master. Then I am just going to clone this master and create a slave virtual machine. I will just go to manage and select clone and say next, next, create a full clone. Next, I'll give the virtual machine name as slave and I want it to be stored in some location. I have stored it inside G drive, Hadoop demos, and inside /slave. Finish. This should clone the master VM and should create a slave VM. It will take some time. I will just pause the video and resume once the cloning is done. Cloning of slave is done. I'll close. So here you can see that slave has been created, slave VM. Now I have two VMs, master and slave. I will power on these two virtual machines. I'll click on this power on virtual machine. It should power on the master, and also I'll go to slave and I'll say power on this virtual machine. They will take some time to start. I will pause my video until they are started. So the VMs are started. I'll log in by using Siva as the password, which I gave during VM creation. So on both nodes I will log in with Siva as password. It will take some time to again come up. I'll pause my video. So now both the VMs are started. Actually in the VM which I was having earlier, I have installed Genie by following these instructions which I gave in the document, and Genie shortcut is created on the desktop following these instructions. So you have completed, I have completed up to step 1. Now step 2 is to issue sudo apt get update. Then this is the command to install JDK. JDK is required for Hadoop installation. So this is the command for installing JDK, and we need to install Openssh server. This is the command to install the SSH server. Why is SSH server required? Actually the data node and name node has to communicate with each other, right? So that communication can be done by using secure socket host SSH. And also from the master machine, once I start my cluster, once I issue a command on my master machine, from master machine the shell script tries to log into the slave machines, and it will try to start the data nodes on the slave machine. So application on master machine will be sometimes trying to log into the slave machines, and it will try to start some daemons like data node, task tracker, etc. So we need an SSH server to make that SSH possible. So this is the command to install Openssh server. Then these 4 steps are already done on my both virtual machines, so I am not showing you. If you are doing it from the scratch, follow the instructions accordingly. Then I have already downloaded Hadoop tar file from Apache website, and I have extracted in /home/siva. /home/siva is my home directory. I'll just open here. It will open /home/siva. Here I have this Hadoop 1.2.1 tar file. I have extracted it according to the documentation step. I have renamed the folder to Hadoop, and I have copied that Hadoop folder to /user/local. It's a good practice to copy your installations under such folder structure like /user/local. So to just follow some good practices, I have copied this Hadoop folder which I have extracted into /usr/local. Then first step again here is you need to add a Java home environment variable, configure where Java home is present inside a file called as hadoop/conf/hadoop-env.sh. So let me just go to the master VM and I'll show you. This is on master VM. I am already having Genie here. I'll double click on Genie. It will open the Genie editor. I'll maximize it. Now I will just go to file, open, file system. Where did I copy Hadoop folder? usr/local/hadoop/conf. Here there is a file called as hadoop-env.sh. In this hadoop-env.sh, I have configured, I have exported Java home. According to my documentation, I have exported Java home here. That is a step. So this step is already done in my VM. If you are doing it from the scratch, you can do the same according to the command, right? Then, as I said, from master machine we need to log into slave machines and do some operations. We'll be seeing in my next step why it needs to do. For logging into slave machines, we need to configure passwordless SSH. This is the command to create a passwordless SSH. So when you run this command, it will prompt you for a file name. Just press enter so that it will use default file name id_rsa under /home/shiva /.ssh folder. Any folder or file starting with dot is a hidden file, so it will not be visible. So this file will be created automatically once you execute this command. So what is this file? Actually this file contains private key for doing SSH. If you know what is SSH, secure socket host, if two applications wants to exchange data securely, they will use some keys called as private keys and public keys. So this id_rsa will contain the private key which is generated right now for your machine. Okay. If you don't know what is SSH, please Google for SSH and try to understand what happens when SSH is done. Also you can just ignore if you are not interested. Okay, just understand that if you want to perform SSH, it requires a private key. Private key is generated by using this command, and the private key will be stored in this file. Okay, so these are the 12 steps. You have to do both these steps under master and slave. I have already done on both master machine as well as slave machine. On both the machines I have done up to these steps already. Okay, the next thing is I want to configure static IPs for my machines, because if I don't configure static IPs, whenever I reboot my VMs, the IP will change. It will be a big problem sometimes. So I want to configure static IPs. Actually in production it might not be required. So just for my convenience I am configuring static IP so that whenever I restart my VMs, the IP will not change. So how to configure a static IP? These are the steps. You can just open /etc/network/interfaces. So let me just open file, open file system /etc/ what is the file name, /etc/network/interfaces, is it? Okay, so /network/interfaces. Here this is the file interfaces. Now permission denied. Oh, am I not able to save it? Oh, permission is denied. So what I will do is I'll say don't save. I'll close my Genie. I will open command prompt and I'll say sudo Genie. Now let me open what again, file system /etc/network/interfaces. Then let me try to save. Yes, the file is saved. So what I did is, if I open Zine using sudo, it will have the root permissions and I will be able to save. Earlier I double clicked on Zine on my desktop and I opened it. I didn't start with sudo permissions, root permissions. Okay. So in this file, what I am going to do is I'll copy paste whatever is here. This is the commands, these are the configurations to set static IP. So I want to set some IP for master. For master I have assigned a static IP called as 192.168.1.50. You can keep any IP as you want. And the gateways you can see as 1.1 and name servers as 8.8.8.8. Something I have configured. That's fine. So on the slave machine also I need to do the same thing. Let me do it. I'll open command prompts, and from here I'll say sudo genie now I will open again /etc/network/interfaces, and here I'll paste, but now I will give this 51 for slave, rest all are same. Okay, I'll close it. So I have done the other step for configuring static IPs. Then I'll go to etc/resolve/conf, and I have to add this following lines on both the machines. Okay, so let me go to this one. So again I'll open Zeni. First I'll go to master, and then I have already opened Zeni. I'll open one more file, open /etc/ what is the file, sys something, right? sysctl.conf, and here all are commented, so I'll just copy these two lines. Name server. Okay, sysctl.conf, that's the file, right? Hey, sorry, resolve.conf. Sorry. Just so don't save, I'll open again. /etc/resolve.conf. Resolve conf, 1 minute. Let me come down. Resolve.conf, and here I will replace these two with whatever I have copy pasted. I will let this search be there. So this I have done on my master, and similarly I'll go to my slave. Again I'll open Zeni. I'll try to open /etc/resolve.conf. Here I will comment out this name server, and I'll paste this. Oh, sorry. I'll paste again, copy paste. So I've done. This step is done. This is a way to set the static IPs, and also I want to rename my hosts. So I have to open /etc/host, and I have to give the names for these IPs. Okay. So I'll again go to each machine. I'll again open new. Sorry. I'll open /etc/hosts. So here I will comment out this one. I'll comment out both here. By default, let the local host. Okay, I'll just comment out these two lines and then write this one. So this IP is named as master, and this 151 is named as slave. I'll say directly slave. Okay, and the same thing I will do it on slave machine as well. I'll open /etc/hosts and I'll comment these two lines. Then I will paste this. So I am giving a name to my IPs, master and slave. Then the next step in the documentation is open /etc/hostname and write master in master VM and slave in slave VM. Okay, so let me go to each VM. So /etc/hostname. Let me open again. Control O. /etc/hostname. Here I will write this is which machine? This is slave. So here this is slave. So I'll name it as slave. And I'll go to again master VM. I'll again open /etc/hostname, and here I'll give it as master. Okay, so I have assigned names to the hosts as well. Okay, then create a passwordless SSH on both the machines, because from master needs to log into slaves by using passwordless SSH. So these are the commands to do passwordless SSH. So I'll open the command prompt. Anyway, I have a terminal here in the Zini itself here. So what I will do is I'll paste. So this will add passwordless SSH permissions for master. Okay. Or let me close this Zini. So here I'll paste. I will have to execute it like Siva. Okay. Okay, so one thing is, if I type host name right now, it is still saying Ubuntu, because until I restart it will not pick the new host name. So what I will do is, on first I'm on master, I'll say issue sudo reboot. This will reboot the VM, and on slave also I will close all and I'll say sudo reboot. So this should issue a reboot to my virtual machines. Okay, so it will take some time. I'll just pause my video until they reboot. So the VMs have rebooted themselves. I log into each VM. Okay, then I will follow my next step, which is creating passwordless SSH. information is still loading. I'll pause my video until they get loaded. Okay, it got loaded. So I'll go to command prompts. Let me copy the command once more. SSH copy ID I. It will ask, prompt, do you want to continue? Yes. So it will ask for password. I'll give the password Siva. That's fine. Now same thing with slave. The IP or the name of the host. Sorry, slave. Yes. Okay. So they have been added. Similarly, I will do it on slave machine as well. I'll just go to command prompt, paste. Okay. And again I will do it. Okay, so I've done on both the machines, master and slave. Then we have configured passwordless SSH. We have to open core site.xml. Core site.xml is a configuration file where we configure the IP at which the master node, the name node, is listening. This is the IP at which clients can connect to name node. Okay, and also data nodes can talk to name nodes using this port. Okay, so let me just open this and configure core site.xml. Again on both the machines, if I go to slave, sorry master, I will use sudo genie. So genie will open with root permissions, and I'll just open new, open in where is it, file system /user /local /hadoop /conf. Core site.xml is one of the main configuration file. I will open core site.xml, and here if you see, I have configured the name node IP. Master is the name of my master machine, :8020. If you want, you can replace this master with IP as well. So this has been already configured according to my documentation. And in HDFS site.xml you have to configure this, and in mapred-site.xml you have to configure the IP at which you want the job tracker to listen at. Okay, and this is the IP in HDFS site.xml. These are configuration files. These are configuration file where we configure some information related to HDFS. This dfs.data.dir, I am configuring it to point to some location. You can point it to any of the folders on your machine, but I pointed to this. Here the data nodes will store the data blocks in this directory, and this is a directory in which name node will store the metadata. Actually, till now we understood that name node will store the metadata inside RAM. We will discuss something more. Name node also stores something called as file system image and edit logs. What is the purpose of FS image, file system image and edit log, we will discuss later. But this is the directory in which the name node writes the edits and file system image. What is the purpose of them, we will discuss in my next video. And this is the place where we configure the replication factor. By default, if you don't configure this property, the default replication factor will be 3. Now as I am having only 2 nodes, I am setting the replication factor to 2. Actually I am going to use the master machine to start data node as well. In an ideal production scenario on master machine, there will be only either name node daemon or job tracker daemon. But in this case, as I don't have many machines, I will use master machine for starting name node and job tracker, as well as I want to use master as slave node as well. So data node daemon will run on my master machine as well as slave machine. So as there are two data nodes which will be running in my cluster, I have configured the replication factor to 2. These configurations are already done by me by opening this one. So if you, I'll just open for you to understand. So I'll open say HDFS site. As per the documentation, I have done this configuration. I'll open again map read site.xml. I have configured the IP at which the job tracker is running. So on both the machines, master and slave, I have already configured these things. If you are doing it from the scratch, please do it manually. Okay. Then coming to the next step, 18th step. On master node, open a file called as masters and write the host name as master. Okay, so let me just go here. Again I'll open. In Hadoop/conf there is a file called as masters where it has localhost. I have to give the IP of the master machine here. Master is a host name. I can give either IP or host name. And I'll open another file called as slaves. Here I will give both master. Hey, what? 1 minute. I'll again open slaves, and here I'll write master and slave, the host names of both the machines. Why? Because as I told you, I want to use master machine for starting data nodes as well and task trackers as well. So I gave master inside slaves. The master machine also will be acting like a slave in this case, but in production you don't do this. You will be having a dedicated master machine. Okay. So whatever IP you have configured under master files represents the master machine, and on the slaves file whatever IPs you have configured, this will be treated as slave machine. So I have configured this. Then on slave node, the master's file should be empty and slave's file should contain master and slave. So let me go to slave VM. I'll again open Zini, sudo Zini. I'll make sure that masters is empty. So again I'll go to file system /user /local /hadoop/conf/ masters file should be empty. I am deleting it. Why masters file should be empty, I will tell you in few minutes after I issue a start command. Again I am opening /user /local /hadoop/conf/ slaves. Here I'll give both the machines, master and slave, the host names of both the machines. Okay. Then coming to the documentation. Add Hadoop bin folder to the path. So actually whenever you start your shell script, your command shell, there will be a file called as .bashrc present in your home directory. So this .bash rc is a hidden file which will be executed whenever your shell is getting started. So what you can do is you can go to your virtual machine, and both on master machine and slave machine you have to do this. You have to open a file under your home directory. What is the home directory for me? /home/siva. By default it is not showing any hidden files. I'll click on these more options and say select show hidden files. It will show all the hidden files. There is one file called as .bash rc. Any file starting with dot is a hidden file. I am opening this .bash rc, and this is the file which will be executed whenever whenever shell is getting started. Here if you see, I have already configured path is equals to path:/user/local/hadoop/bin. So Hadoop bin directory is the folder which contains all the shell scripts, Hadoop related shell scripts. So I have added this bin folder to the path already. You have to do it if you have not yet done. Okay, then what is the next step? On both the machines I have done it. Okay, now once you edit bash rc, whatever you write in path will not be automatically updated. You have to close and reopen the shell, then only whatever you write inside .bash rc will be executed, and Hadoop/bin will be under path. So you are done with most of the steps. Now what we need to do is we need to format the name node. The command to format the name node is this one. So I'll go to master machine. So we need to format the name node on master machine only, because name node daemon will be running on master. So better I'll close Zini right now. I don't want Zini anymore. So from command prompt I'll say Hadoop name node dash format. This is a command to format the name node. For the first time, whenever we are creating the cluster, we need to issue this command. This is not getting executed because I have to close and open. Oh, it's already there, so it has executed. So name node is formatted. If you see, if you observe the commands here, a storage directory has been created in /tmp/hadoop/siva/dfs/. Did you observe that in my configuration file? Let me open another command prompt. I'll go to cd/usr/local/hadoop/conf. I'll open hdfs site.xml. In hdfs site.xml, I configured name node directory as /temp/hadoop/siva/dfs/name. Let us go to there. I'll go in this one, cd/tmp ls. Hadoop-siva is created automatically. I'll go to there, Hadoop-siva ls. See, there is a folder called as dfs. I'll go to dfs, again ls. There is a folder called as name. Automatically these folders have been created, and here there are some things, some folders. That means actually whenever I formatted name node uses this directory which is configured, to store some metadata information. So some folders have been created under this /tmp/hadoop/siva/dfs/. That's what has happened when you formatted the name node. But you need to observe one more thing. You configure data directory as /tmp/hadoop/siva/dfs/data. Is this data folder created under dfs? No, only name is created. So data folder will be created once the data node starts. So how to start the data node, how to start the name node, let me show you individually. So here is the next step. There is a command called as hadoop-demons.sh present in Hadoop bin directory. You can execute this like this: hadoop-demons.sh. I'll clear my screen first. Hadoop dash demons.sh space name node start. Sorry, demons. Okay, sorry. Start name node. So you can see that starting name node. Starting name node. One minute. Why is it starting name node on master? Let me just type JPS here. I am saying name node on my slave machine. I'll go and I'll close this Zeni. I'll type JPS. Oh, nothing. Okay. You can see that here on master name node has been started. Wherever you issue the command, I have issued this command here on this machine, name node has been started, right? And now I'll say start data node. So data node also should be started. Let me start JPS. See, I am able to see data node also has been started. JPS shows all the Java processes which are running. Data node has been started. Now let me go to slave and type JPS. Hey, did I start data node on slave? Why is it started here? Because on my master machine, once I executed this command start data node, what it will do is this command, it will look inside slaves folder. Did you configure slaves folder? Yes, right. Under this hadoop/conf you have configured slaves. Let me just cat slaves. Slaves you have configured as master and slave. So on these IPs, on all the IPs mentioned in slaves folder, the data node is automatically started. So you have started data node and name node individually, right? So you can stop as well by issuing stop data node. Let me say stop, stopping both the data nodes if you observe. Now if I type JPS on my master, there is no data node here. On my slave, let me go and see. If I type JPS, is there data node? No. So that means whenever I issue a stop command as well, this shell script is using SSH to connect to slave machines listed inside the slaves file, and it will try to stop the data nodes as well. If I want to stop again name node as well, I'll say stop name node. So I'll just cat my masters. Yeah, master is having only master. Okay. Now I'll clear all. If you want to start all the demons, you can just execute start dash dfs.sh. This will start the distributed file system. Under HDFS, what are all the demons? Name node and data node, right? You understood only about two demons. Let us see. See, name node is started on master machine. Data node is started on master as well as slave, And there is one more daemon called a secondary name node, which we didn't discuss. We will be discussing on what is the purpose of secondary name node. This is the third daemon which will be running as part of distributed file system. Now if I type JPS, I should see all the daemons: secondary name node, data node, and name node. So what is the secondary name node and its purpose? We didn't discuss it. We will be discussing in my next video. And if I go to slave, on slave, if I type JPS, I should see the data node. Okay, that's fine. Now again on the master machine, I'll try to start task tracker and job tracker. Okay, so what I could do is I could use Hadoop daemons.sh to start job tracker and data and task tracker as well, but there's a shortcut: start dash mapred dot sh. It will start all the mapred related daemons. So it is starting job tracker on the master machine, and on all the files, on all the IPs mentioned under slaves, it is starting the task tracker as well. So if I type JPS right now, what happened? So job tracker and task tracker didn't start. What? Let me type again. I'm not able to observe. 1 minute. Let me type here JPS. Job tracker and task tracker are not running. So if you want to see the logs, you can see the logs under logs folder of Hadoop. So let me go to there under file system. Under computer /usr /local /hadoop /logs, you can see the task tracker logs and job tracker logs. Let me just open it. Are there any exceptions? Oh, does not contain. Oh, I didn't give colon here. Oh, that's a mistake, I guess. Whatever I did, so I did a mistake. That's the reason why it didn't execute. So I'll start Genie, sudo Genie. I think there's a spelling mistake. Let me just open mapred site. Oh, I missed a colon here. Okay, so I'll go to again slave, and again I'll start sudo Genie. Again I'll open mapred site.xml, and here also I missed the colon. Good to do the mistakes. So now you understood that job tracker, whenever I start trying to start job tracker, it will use this configuration. Okay, so I'll go to my master machine, I'll close this Genie. Then again I'll try to execute start mapred.sh. Now it will start the mapred. Now it will start the job tracker and task tracker. Let me just issue JPS. Are you seeing task tracker and job tracker? Yes. And let me go to slaves machine and type JPS. I should see task tracker and data node here. Yes. So that means my cluster has been started. To verify whether my cluster has been started successfully or not, I'll go to browser on my master machine. Browser is not open. Okay. Firefox has opened. So here what I will do is I will say master colon 50070 and enter. See, 50070 is the port at which the name node will start a HTTP server, and you will be able to monitor the health of name node by going to 50070. If you see here, the live node count is 2. That means there are 2 live nodes in this cluster. And if you want to browse the file system, you can click on browse file system to see what are files are available in the file system. If you see this, the live count is 2, then your cluster is up and running. Congratulations, you have configured your cluster successfully. Hope you have gone through it step by step and you are able to create your 2 node cluster on Ubuntu. See you in next video. You can follow this documentation. You can download this documentation in the given URL, and you can try to create your own cluster. Hope this helps.